Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for some more League Lads Season 16 action. I'm actually not quite sure if my internet is going to hold up tonight. There was some major construction going on, I believe, in my ISP, so I might have to turn stream off if the internet doesn't cooperate. But that's a different issue. We are here tonight though for Fade's Babysitting Services versus Mellow Fellows. We did cast Fade's Babysitting Services FBS very recently. They went 1-1 if memory serves. Surely I'm correct about that, right? I'm not. I'm sure it was. Underdogs had to have won game 2, and then we have Mellow Fellows who have not played that many series left. If or that many series yet, I should say, if I'm correct about that one. Yeah, they've only played 2 series. They're 3-1. So yeah, we have to have some champions on this team though. They've got Vico, they've got Fruit Punch, aka Des. This is a team with some championship pedigree, kind of, just kind of. But feared that Windows sound. My apologies. I had to close something out there, but yeah, we are, of course, into the draft, and hopefully get some good stuff because I mean, I'm gonna say friend of the channel, even though he's not really friend of the channel. Artorias is in the lobby. And this is a rare opportunity. I never get to cast Artorias. I did not put my thing on Twitch, did I? Probably put that on Twitch. There we go. Probably should have put that on Twitch a while ago, but we are here for the series, of course. We have to cast Artorias. I never get to cast Artorias. It's very, very rare. For those who know, they know why, but I have not got to cast Artorias in a very, very long time. This is really a privilege for me to be able to do this for once. And I'm certainly not going to waste it, even though he is only going to be here for one game. He's a one-game stand-in, so we get one game of casting Artorias. I will say, though, it is interesting. I know a lot of teams like to ban out the wife heroes, and Bray has not opted to ban out the wife heroes. So his entire hero pool is basically in the pool. I'm pretty sure he does play Sand King as well, so I guess that one is banned out, but a number of the more notoriously annoying heroes to deal with are still in that pool for the 18 pick, if that ends up being the option. I haven't caught any of Mellowfellow's games yet, so I'm not quite sure how they've been drafting, but you know, usually these wife teams do tend to like giving either 18 or 24 to some hero where wife can just basically he's this very powerful tool for his teams in that he can basically just beat players who are better than him by having these degenerate hero picks. So you're gaining a ton of value if you can use them late in the draft in that sense. I'm not quite sure if that's the answer for Vico, but a number of wife teams have done that in historical lads context. For now, though, we do have the Doombringer selected. And look at the draft, going over the whole thing so far. Marana, can't pronounce things tonight. Marana, Tramp Protector, Sand King, Windrunner, Mars, Furion, SD, PB, Centaur, DK all banned out. 8 pick Omni Knight, 9 pick Rubik, 13 the Lena, 13 13 the Tusk, 14, 15 Lena Clockwork, 16 Doom. And now 17's coming in right now. That'll be the Luna. So Fade's Babysitting Service, they will lock in most of their draft right here, right now. We are going to have to see who's going to be the mid laner and carry tonight. Obviously, the signups were Bloom playing the carry, Bray mid, I do believe. Ended up being the opposite in the previous series, with Bloom playing the mid, Bray playing the carry. Let's see if that rings true again tonight. And we'll be last picking our mid 24 again, much like a number of times have happened in the lads' history. Yeah, we are chilling. We are waiting at this point, waiting for that. And right as it currently stands, we do see the Lena. Could be mid, probably will end up being carry though. So looking at either a mid or an offlaner. Historically speaking, you would go for the offlaner in the spot, knowing you see the Luna, so you know what, you can get that lane counter pick for one of the lanes. Go whatever clock plus one pairing will ideally beat the Luna. And perhaps that is the one. That is a wife hero. That's certainly an option for him to play in the off lane this game. Kunkka Clock versus, if it ends up being Tusk Luna, sounds interesting. On paper, Luna should do decently well. You are playing the ranged hero double melee. But you also are playing Luna, a pretty low stat hero who often can struggle extremely early on the landing phase to just taking damage. And you have two different heroes that are very disruptive in that aspect, where you can X mark into torrents, you can walk up and just use the cogs and battery assault. There's a lot of means if it ends up being this Kunkka Clockwork offlane to disrupt a carry Luna. It will be Artorias playing the Clockwork almost certainly. I know it is technically Artorias standing in for a 5 player, but I know Des plays 5 as well. I'd be very shocked if she was not moved to 5 for Artorias to play 4. We will see, of course, what happens there, but yeah, personally, I would like to see Artorias playing that 4 Clockwork. I know he's a pretty nasty Clockwork, so I know he would be very aggressive against the Luna. He's one of the more aggressive 4 players in the league. He likes to ruin the enemy carry's day. This is the sort of guy, and again, if you're a lads player, you really want your fours to be like this, where psychologically speaking, they're almost more interested in ruining the enemy carry's game than they are of their own game. Because usually if you're ruining the enemy's carry's game, then you're going to have a great time playing as a core hero. Like, this carry hero who is almost always a big part of the win condition is suddenly just not having fun. And a hero like Luna, who's notorious for ramping up once you get that timing, if you delay that timing for a few minutes, it can really mess with their game, because you almost rely on hitting certain points to be strong for things like Tormentor and being strong for Roshan and so on and so forth. And we could really, from a macro standpoint, ruin her game. Which, I mean, that's the goal, of course. You play to win the game. You don't play to lose. So you see some mid laners banned out. Seems like both teams are of the impression that the 1, 3, 4, 5 have been picked. Invoker, Queen of Pain, Storm Spirit, Tiny, all banned out. All perfectly fine bans. Still in the pool, notably, is Ember Spirit, who, again, going into the last season, was considered one of the top heroes in the meta, but after a bit over a month or so has passed, this Ember hero seems to be getting picked less and less as time goes on. I do know Vico is quite the good Ember Spirit player if he wants to 23 pick the Ember, but again, we've been seeing a number of these sort of punch you in the face mid laners counterpicked. Or say if you go the Ember 23 there, then maybe you just grab a 24 Monkey King and just punch him in the mouth. Puck in that sense, maybe not necessarily is not necessarily true because that's the same tools that Ember does, but Puck is much more resistant to a very bad lane. Where the worst case scenario land on Puck, usually you're still having some impact. You buy a Witchblade, you buy a Blink Dagger, you do all these things. Versus on Ember, you get absolutely demolished in lane. You might struggle to have impact this game, so I'm not that opposed to a Puck pick. Especially this game, there are a number of stuns. You have the Doom, you have Blink Snowball, you have the lift from long range with like an Aether Lens or something. So perfectly fine move for the Puck to come out. I'm a fan. Especially this game, when other than really this sort of instant blink Rubik, you should be able to dodge a lot of the stuff from the Radiant team. Okay, then. I'll break that down in a second, because usually you play Puck into Rubik, and that's going to be your main means of doing that, but a lot of these Rubiks have gone for other items other than Blink as the first 2 items. You've seen a lot of, early Ags. You've seen a lot of, defensive items like Glimmer of Pavis. You've seen a lot of early Shards, all which, of course, not Blink. But that right there is your answer to, to dealing with this instant phase shift. Is you have, if you have a Shadow Blade, or you're going from the Fog, or going from a Smoke, Blink, Echo Slam. It's basically impossible to dodge. Certainly, I don't think it's humanly possible to dodge Echo Slam in that scenario. And then for a hero like Puck, it's that first stun that matters. Because once you get stunned the first time on Puck, you're just going to die. You're simply going to die. And that's the concern here is if you are Vico, You gotta really dodge the spells, but you're playing into Blink Earthshaker. The Shaker hero has been getting a lot of play in the mid lane recently, and well, I'm not quite sure if Puck can do that much to dislodge the Earthshaker. He's again a very, very tanky hero. Not easy to dislodge on Puck. Maybe if you're playing a hero like, I don't know, like a Queen of Pain or something, maybe you can stagger spam and do something, but Puck just doesn't have that sustained DPS to force the Shaker out, so it's a great game for the Shaker. You should have a decent enough lane, if not an outright lane win for the Shaker, and then your impact is obvious. You just, again, you stun things. You walk up slowly, you stun the things, you do the damage. It just fucking works, man. Sorry for cursing there, but I see this Earthshaker hero in my lobby. It's like, man, what do? You just die. Again, I'm a little shocked that Lads players are not actually picking it a little earlier in these drafts. I mean, it technically does have some flex potential as well. Obviously, it's been played overwhelmingly in the mid lane recently, but you can play it off lane core. You can play it sup. Even though neither really will get picked by the average Lads player anymore, but if you are just joining us, welcome to game number 1 of Fade's babysitting service versus Mellow Fellows. My name's Badger. I am alone for game 1, but let's see if I can get Artorias, who's currently in the game, by the way, to play to cast with me game 2. We'll see about that one, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. This is definitely a very interesting time of year for me, casting, because usually my co-casters are there to cast at me, but they're usually available. And right now they're not available, because a lot of my friends are, of course, in Denmark, in Copenhagen, to watch TI in person. But a bunch more of my friends are actually in Seattle for a watch party. One of them has a house in Seattle, so they're going to Seattle. They're doing their watch party there, so of course they're not necessarily bringing their desktop PCs and microphones and stuff. So yeah, a lot of my friends are busy. A lot of them are busy with the being elsewhere. So I am rocking it solo for at least game 1. I think I'll be a little bit on the I'm not gonna like super go crazy early on, because especially when you're solo casting, you have to sort of budget your voice. You just do. There's only so much that you can. There's only so much you can say before your voice just stops wanting to say words. That's a fundamental fact of the matter. And that's why, you know, like solo casting for like 6+ straight hours just isn't sustainably feasible. You could do it for maybe a day or two, but you really feel it out. I've done it before. I've had to solo cast for like 4+ hours at a time, and you're just not having fun vocally at certain points. I think the longest I've done is 9 hours straight solo, and it's just not fun. So you do it day after day, and you just run out of voice to work with, and again, not only will your quality go down, but you literally will do vocal damage. I've mentioned this. I probably mentioned this anecdote about once a month, so if you watch my streams a lot, you know what I'm going to say here, but famous StarCraft caster, perhaps the greatest play-by-play in all esports history, Tasteless, has spoken at length about this, where you know you want to take care of your voice, you know, hydrate properly, not overexert it, or else you can cause some real permanent damage. And in his case, from his years of casting StarCraft, he has done permanent damage to his voice, so you do have to be a little bit cognizant of what you're doing as an art form, and in the case of many cases as a career. For me, of course, no longer a career. For a brief moment, I had those hopes, but I don't want to get too deep into that one, how the whole BTS thing went wrong there, but I digress, of course. I can talk about that one all night long, but then next thing you know, I've been ranting for 30 straight minutes, and the actual Dota 2 is not being covered properly. Mid lane, Vico is, again, we're seeing now, he's just tanking so much shaker damage. His hero is just a little bit on the obnoxious end in that regard. It's just difficult to deal with. I'm gonna read this. Okay, so it's, you can either pull or you can push. I missed first blood. My bad. I actually did mention that though in the draft. Is again, Artorias likes to play very aggressively as a 4-player in the off lane. We saw it there. He went in aggressively. He went in to fight this Rubik nonstop, and he ended up winning the trade eventually. I was too busy reading the puck facets. So I knew it could push. I didn't know that it also could pull though. So you have the option of push or pull. It's not a super long push or pull, but it is something. I guess you can always snap the coil that way if you you can get it the very right timing, but it's a different thing. You again are seeing a fight for camp control in this top lane. Of course, you just see this camp here on Doom. You'd love to have it unblocked. Not only is it your pull to this angle or to this angle, but it's also your means of getting some creeps. Obviously, it is level 1 Devour right now, so not necessarily perfect for that regard. But if you get that same point Devour, you can devour a lot of stuff from this camp if memory serves. So you always want to have that option on the Doombringer. Speaking of Doom, both tank and LSA top lane, Mokio and Fruit Punch are doing some of the damage, but yeah, not enough for the kill. Looking over at CS, nothing too wild and crazy so far. Nobody's getting completely demolished in the lane. There are some clear winners, though, and the main one has to be the Shaker mid. He's at 19-12 versus Puck 16-4. The last hits really are not that different, but you're seeing it over... I'm going to ignore that. You see it over and over again. You just use the enchant totem, you get the deny, and on Puck, there's not all that much you can do to counter that out. You just kind of end up being sad. I missed another kill bottom lane, really? How did I do that twice? Again, another kill from Artorias. Bring down... He's part of the Luna. My camera work is not necessarily great when I'm solo casting. Bottom lane Artorias, again, he goes for the dive. TP in by the Tuskar. But again, no snowball. The shards will end up missing. Artorias baits the TP, baits the spells, walk away. I mean, there's a reason why KU had this guy rated as a top 3 for support and lads, despite his lack of MMR. Yeah, definitely, when you're solo casting, it's a little bit harder to do full camera control. And the more you have to kind of do with your body, the harder it is to focus on everything you're doing. Top lane Doombringer will end up using the stick. He's barely alive. Fruit Punch is still hunting. She's got Hammer in 2 seconds, but I do not believe she can get the kill there. Instead, she's perhaps going a little bit too hard here. Well, I guess the 10 stick is the bait option there. But yeah, when you're alone, it's a little harder to do both good camera work and good commentary, because you know you're non-stop looking to fill the dead air and talk, but then you got to also look around, and especially this stage of the game, the stuff you're saying isn't in perfect one-to-one relation of what's on the screen. So my apologies for missing literally all. It's minutes 6. I have not caught a single kill. I have not caught a single one, so I still haven't caught a single one. I did it. I caught a kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade. A 1-for-1 trade top lane. Doom gives his life, kills the Omni, but again, it's a solo experience kill from Mokio. Not only got the XP, but he's going for a second kill right now. Still has 14 wand charges. Tusk has a Fair Fire. Still is running away. Ice shards block him away. Medicine barely ends up missing. I don't believe it would have been enough damage, but it would have been close there. So, regardless, a win for the Lena for sure. Solo XP. The Doombringer is sad. The Tusk is forced to walk all the way to the fountain. So, again, in that 2v1 scenario, we've been seeing a lot thanks to Tusk's rotations. This Doom should get absolutely slapped on down. Speaking of Tusk, it is Wisdom Rune time. Should be a free one for Nefster on the Tusk. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do see a Kunkka going for it. Back to the Fruit Punch. Death is just really going in right now. This is Lad's champion Omni Knight gameplay right here, but alas, no kill. There's again more move speed on the Omni scenario, but not quite enough to close the gap there. Secure that kill. Even with the blood drain, it's still not enough. So Artorias is on the high ground. He had to have been lifted there at some point during the all the hullabaloo top lane. I just was not watching in the slightest what's going on over here. Next thing I know, look over, he's on the high ground, and Rubik's lift is not even on cooldown, so he had to have been there for at least 24 seconds, if I'm doing my math correctly. Mid lane, the rune will spawn on the top side. Bray is inside the cogs, now gets coiled back by Vico's puck. Big Daddy Fade TP's on over. Shaker's still running. The coil does not snap. Fissure stuns too. And the rune is still there on the top side. Vico and Bray, of course, both want it. I don't believe either will get it, though. Should go to Fruit Punch. Unless somehow, some way, she can keep the Rubik away. But again, it'll get denied by a Rubik. Unfortunate for both mid laners. They're both sad. They want mana. They want HP. They'll get neither. Next mark, into bottom lane, Artorias is inside the cogs, fighting, trying to bring down Luna, torrent it up, and eventually they'll bring down Bloom in one more hit, correction, 2 more hits, that's 12 HP, Wife's hunting, and Wife will slay Bloom. Big kill for the Kunkka, he's now second in net worth thanks to that kill. So far, oh no! A missed Echo Slam middle lane by Bray. That is not what you wanted to see if you're a fan of Fade's babysitting service, not at all. I think he thought he had the damage, thought he had the timing, but the phase shift, either lucky or good, or perhaps both from Vico. He'll not survive and live to see another day.
Oh boy.
Could have been a massive heads-up play, but again, not the case in this case. And again, through the Twin Gate, they're focusing down this Luna. She'll try to Eclipse, but the Laguna Blade plus the Wife and Artorias damage is just way too much. That's another death on Luna. Her third death of the game, actually. There was the one to really early on, and the 2 recently. It's been a rough last bit for this Bloom Luna. Meanwhile, top lane, there will be a counter kill, but it's, again, your 5 support Omni Knight. That is not an even trade. Not in the slightest. I mean, sure, it's good to get something, but this bottom T1 tower, it's under attack. It probably will go down. And, again, on paper, it should be a trade, but this could be defendable. Notice the HP gap. This bot tower is half HP. This top tower is basically full HP. So, there's an angle of you TP in deaths. She holds this sort of line here, and eventually, this bottom tower finally falls. They can go either TP over or go through the Twin Gate over here. You have a lot of options to defend this top T1. Alternatively, if they commit for the T1 top lane, you then go through this Radiant side jungle. You go to the mid T1 tower with this siege unit here. Notice they are glyphing. It's mostly, of course, for that top tower. They're diving Fruit Punch to kill her. But mid lane, if they can get this mid tower, that's huge. There's a coil against Brave, a hookshot onto Rubik, and now Cogs on Shaker as well. In comes the Kunkka arsenal. Boat will hit 3! What next mark? Torrent bolt play from Wife! That's a massive gank from Kunkka and Clockwork. And now, I mentioned it was possible. They can go for this mid T1 tower, but it's not just possible. It's already happening. Huge play from Wife, set up by a massive hook from Artorias. I really miss casting Artorias. I love watching him play Dota, man. I really do. He's just a very interesting player. Very active, very aware of the game states. And yeah, honestly, I played a season with him. Historically, I used to cast a lot of Artorias games, but this is the first time in a long time, and it's something I miss doing. Bottom lane, Lena with the jukes. Oh, never mind. The ward there. Spotted out that one. Lift up, brought down. Unfortunate death for Mokio. That'll definitely slow the game down for Mellow fellas. They were definitely in the winning game state, and they still are in the winning game state, but that's a big death to lose. A lot of experience going back, and notably this Lena, who was number 1 in net worth, is not farming for about a minute or so, so simply not ideal. But again, if you look at the aggregate of the last, say, 5 minutes, it's, again, the graph will show you that aggregate. It's been a good direction. And now, for both teams, is how do you connect on these plays? For now, it'll be another gank towards the Rubik, who steals cogs, but, well, green cogs will not stop death. Again, the tower status is what really comes to mind for me, is Dire and Mellow, they've taken two. Fade's babysitting services, they've grabbed none. They still need to get this top T1 tower. It's actually half HP still, so it's holding up. Hypothetically, if Mellow overload the top lane, they can go for this top T1 tower, but yeah, easier said than done. This is not an area of the map you necessarily want to play if you're Dire. You'd probably rather just overload this Radiant jungle instead, as you're seeing Artorias do, backing up white. They play the bottom lane, push it in there. You have then Puck play the sort of area mid, make some of these camps over here, and at that point you have a ton of map for the Lina to play. Meanwhile, top lane, somehow Fruit Punch is just fine. Hook shot from Artorias finds a Brave. It's a coil on 2 from the Puck as well. It's chaos again. But right now, the attention is being split. No one's died in either team. Echo Slam on 2, and Puck gets slapped down by Bray. The attention was just too split, and now Artorias, isolated, fissured, will get brought down. 2 kills for Fade's babysitting services, and you see it there. They bit off more than they could chew on this Dire side. Fruit Punch will survive, but you saw it there. You saw one being gone on by the Clockwork over here. That being the Shaker. I think it was over here, actually. But in this sort of area here. And then you saw the main body of the team, this sort of Puck combo over here. But they were outnumbered. You had more players. There was a 4v3 in the Radiant favor, and with the numbers, they were able to win that fight with relative ease. Get too much damage, too many spells, too much HP for Dire to kill them. Not only did they get that top T1 tower to bring the gold lead back to only 2k, they're not smoke up as 3, looking for more. They're running on over to the mid lane area, looking at the Radiant Vision. They now see Puck mid. It's a Blink Doom, I believe. Hookshot comes in. Cogs is the attempt to play. Puck cannot get away. Decent attempt by Artorias, but it simply will not work. However, in comes the backup. The cavalry has arrived. Torrent into boat. Now 1-for-1 trade. Lina will say as well. The Luna Blade is there, and NKF now be 2 kills for the Kunkka. 2-for-1 trade. It seemed like a bit of a disaster there, but much like how the top lane fight was all Radiant because of the outnumbering situation, we saw the exact inverse middle lane. Again, you did not have the Luna in that fight. You didn't really have much from the Shaker as well, I don't believe, so you're able to flood. You had heroes playing this area here, and they're able to collapse and at the very least avenge Vico's Puck. Obviously, you keep Puck alive, it's even better, but Vengeance is the next best option. Bottom lane, NKF. He chose this engagement. He blinked in, thinking Wife was alone, thought he'd be able to chip him down a bit as his teammates arrive, but instead, again, that's a lot of backup. Lina with the Gleipnir, Clockwork, and Omnia all within striking range. They very easily killed the Doom. It's a very overzealous play from our perspective, but unfortunately, for us, we have the Omnivision, and he has, of course, only the Radiant side vision, so yeah, he's playing at relatively limited information. Did not know where dudes were, and, well, I guess they know now where they are. Problem is, Bray's TP'd in as well. They catch him in the Cogs. He's entirely alone. Another death bottom lane. That's 2 unforced errors from Fade's babysitting service. They lose 1 core. They lose another core. Now they lose their bottom T2 tower. And notice, if you zoom out all the way here, look at this line. This entire line now is just going to be very hard to play. Anything on this right side of the line is basically all Dire territory now, where it's going to be very difficult to control that area of the map. Where, again, notice it's being bolstered by these wards. 1 ward here on the north side, 1 ward centrally as well. You just can't really play here anymore. If you do, you know that it's certainly dangerous territory. Given the 2 deaths bottom lane, you might even think, hey, they have to have some kind of vision, right? They do have the vision right over here, but you have to be very, very careful now if you're this Radiant side playing this this Radiant jungle area. This game is only going to get a little bit harder. Again, Luna just has not reached critical mass quite yet. She's close to Manta. That should really make the game a lot easier for Bloom, but before that happens, you'll be at least Gleipnir Falcon Blade travels on Lena. Perhaps she'll be a good bit towards a another item. It'll be Hurricane Pike the option here. You have a lot on Kunkka. He's shockingly rich. He has Weenie Aura #1, Weenie Mail. He's buying a second Weenie Aura. Correct items, mind you, from Wife. I like that item with a lot from the Kunkka. Artorias goes for the D Award. And, oh no! Echo Slam on 3! The bad coordination! Didn't even get the D Award! 5 from Artorias. This could be an absolute disaster. Wife is dropping Bolt only as the Tusk. Wife's trying as hard as to clean this up right now, but he's just tanking too much. Rocket Flare brings down the Tusk. But it's a trade for Kunkka, and the move to Fruit Punch. Brave blinks in, slamming on another kill. That's 3 kills for Shaker. That is a 3-for-1 exchange. Now Artorias again tried to disrupt. He's going in for a kill on Ruby. He will kill Ruby without costing his life. More than likely, they'll go for the clock for now. Vico jumps on in. Gleipnir onto the Doombringer. They'll leave him behind. It'll only be a 3-for-3 trade. Oh, unfortunate there from Mellow Fellows. They wanted the D Ward, but in congregating in this little box area, they got way too grouped. All 3 got stunned by the Echo Slam. Wait, mid lane Luna was... Huh. Okay then. So despite the amazing 3-man Echo Slam from Bloom, not from Bloom, from Bray, it's basically all been negated in the last minute. They gave 3 kills back in the team fight, and then just lost their Luna before the Manta. So, despite, again, a very well-started team fight here, thanks to some mispositioning by the Dire side, it just doesn't matter anymore, because it's entirely gone back. You can see the line. Goes down, goes up. Or I guess goes up, goes down in this case, but... That is, that's kind of funny. So, Tusk gets gone on the Radiant side jungle. X mark again. The Snowball will dodge the LSA, but again, there's no escaping the inevitable. And again, notice I mentioned this entire area of the map just not safe. We saw Luna die over here near this this ward. We're seeing Tusk die in this ward. They're crossing the line. They want to play their own jungle, but their own jungle is simply not safe. This is no longer the Radiant jungle. It's not a Dire jungle, effectively. Even though it's on the Radiant side of the map, it's a Dire property jungle. In the inverse is somewhat true, but definitely not to the extent that it is for the Radiant jungle right now. Top lane, TP in by Moki, looking for a solo kill on Bloom. He's almost dead already. He's trying out with the Luna move speed, but Lena's just so fast as well. It's move speed on move speed. The turn effect, but no, it's just too much damage. The Doom was used on Lena, but Lena's absolutely fine. They'll bring down the Doombringer. It's a double kill for Mokio. The move to Rubik, Echo Slam. It's 3. Shaker's trying. He's trying, but nobody's dead. The heal from Fruit Punch. Vico finally dies, but I can't kill the Lena. The Doom is ended. She's lived for that long. They'll kill the Tusk. Nefster's trying to do anything, but he can't punch anybody. He'll simply be an Arcadically. Triple kill for Mokio on the Lena, and now Fade goes down the Rocket Flare from Artorias. I believe a 4-for-1. And this Lena is just so farmed. This Lena is an absolute problem. Mokio is just one strong flame-throwing wizard as it currently stands. Lena inverse the Slayer, one might say, and as a result, we flood the top lane. This top T1 tower finally goes down, and both top tier 2 and the Radiant side Tormentor are both potential spoils if Mellow Fellows really want to go for some more. They have Wife playing in the Vanguard right now. Mokio and Artorias on the flank going for Tormentor. They've now ran over. Tusk is in the area. He tries the Ice Shards, but does not get blasted. As a result, Tormentor goes the way of the Dire, Mellow Fellows. Free Shard goes to Artorias on the Clockwork, getting that jetpack shard for what that is worth for him. We shall see what it's worth this game, I suppose. How familiar and how comfortable he is using that Clockwork shard. On top of that, though, the T2 top lane went down, so again, we're running out of tier 2s to lose because, well, the mid T2 also died a little while ago, so we're just out of tier 2s. As all 6 outer towers taken by Mellow Fellows, which, again, if there's no T2s to take, there's no Tormentor to take, there's only one objective you can go for macro wise on the map, and that is our good friend Roshan over here, and that's probably where we're headed. And unfortunately for Bloom, as Dire runs to the Roshan pit, they also run to a Luna. She tried for the Manta dodge out of foil. It did not work. Echo Slam is there, but it's a very limited effect. He BKBs it, but it's also to very little effect. Double kill for Lena. Again, 2 more cores in the grave for Fade's babysitting service. And this has been a bit of a disastrous game for the Radiant side of Fade's babysitting services. They're just not having fun. A lot of things have gone wrong in this game from probably about minute 5 onwards, even before that. And again, there's been a number of unforced errors, a number of very overzealous plays, and the Mellow fellows are not being mellow to that one. They're saying, you know what? You think we're fools? You think you can play us? No, we're the players. We got some champions on this Dire side. I mean, this is a Lads champion Puck, a Lads champion Omni, a Lads champion Clockwork, even though with a different team, of course. Season 4 winner on Eternal Kings. So, I mean, they are not bowing down, and they are headed bottom lane once again. Luna is here, has Manta again ready to go, but if I'm Bloom, I am feeling a little bit nervous. Like, yeah, I better not die again. I keep on dying this game. I have 6 deaths, which, again, is not ideal in a minute 23 game for Luna. Mokio will head on down to the high ground, bottom lane. The T3 is, of course, the targets, unsurprisingly. Sorry if there's a little bit of delay there, but all should be good. I had to tab for check a setting, but again, Dragon Slave gets stolen by Fade. The range racks are under attack. The back door is temporarily back, though, with the bottom wave flooding on in. This should be a full set of racks bottom lane. Doombringer cuts the wave. He can perhaps stay for another wave, but the damage has been done. There is a pile of brick and mortar now turned into rubble bottom lane. Leipnir against Rubik. He lifts himself in time, but, well, okay, it actually works. He's still alive, barely on Fade. Meanwhile, X-Mark against Nefster. He'll tank another LSA from the lead. A hook shot from long range by Canada's finest, Artorias. He's definitely not the finest, but he's indeed a Canadian. And of course, with that in mind, we're back on over to the mid T3 tower. Radiant, of course, will glyph. Not a stolen torrent. It is not. That is an allied torrent. He has a LSA on Rubik currently, if you were keeping track. Looking at buybacks, Radiant have 2, the Doombringer and the Luna. If they can get some gold in this fight, we'll have some more as well. Notice the Shaker, Rubik, and Tusk have a lack of gold for their buyback. Not a very large one either. Artorias throws out the hook shot, misses it this time. Range racks mid are dead. Mokio still wants more. Blink. Snowball from Nefster. NKF's going for the backlines, looking for a Doom target. He'll Doom the Omni Knights, but he's inside the Dream Coil. Blink, Echo Slam on 2. Bray will BKB. He's trying to kill Artorias. Artorias is still out with the jetpack. Nefster dead. NKF dead. Bloom's trying to man fight, but there's an X-Mark. He's in danger. He'll get torrented up and brought down. That'll be 3 kills. Before he even dies, he calls GG. Oh, if you're reading into body language, if you're reading into sort of team psychology, that's not what you want to see. Mid-fight, he's not even dead yet. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna call GG. What can you do? What can you do? So basically, I'm just saying, what can you do? More or less off cooldown for the next 2 minutes. Or alternatively, I'll cut to a break, and that's what I'm gonna do. I do have Artorias coming in for game number 2, so that's cool, I guess. But yeah, my name's Badger. Cutting to a break. We'll see you for game 2 in a few minutes. Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for game number 2 of the League of Lads season number 16 group stage action in Group B between Fades, Babysitting, Theros on the dire side, and Mellow Fellows on the radiant side. Speaking of a man familiar with Mellow Fellows, it is one of their players from Game 1, the stand-in, Season 4 champion, noted Canadian product Artorias. How are you in this fine evening?
Not bad. Would have been
Cool.
worse if we lost.
Yeah, not only did you not lose, you didn't even come that close to losing though, so that's something in your corner tonight. I will say though, again, good game on the clockwork. Again, this is Fade's basic. The current Dire team, Fade's basic service, they seem like they were really crumbling. On the flip side, though, how's your team environment game one? Was it positive or what? It seemed positive to me, but
The only thing that could be seen as negative is when we TP top and lost the fight. They're like, yeah, we just shouldn't have done that. Without Kunkka TP. And then I think Puck died shortly after to Doom in the mid lane, which we then got 2 or 3 kills off of. He's like, yeah, I just need to farm my blink. I don't think it was anything negative. It was just like not positive, I guess.
the latter was a good fight. You guys won that. I think it was a 3-for-1. You won that one definitely. The former, I think that honestly could have worked if you chose targets better. Because you were on the east side and your team was on the west side. You're fighting 3v4. You can't win a 3v4 fight if you're splitting your spells. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't want Earthshaker to get in there and drop an Echo Slam.
Oh, I
And I
understand.
honestly have no idea what else happened in the rest of the fight.
I think instead, I think you guys should have collapsed in the shaker though. I think that would have been the ideal target, but it is what it is. We of course we get into game two. They've gone from 3 lads champions to 2 lads champions. Their intended player, their normal player, Mellow is on the team now, so we get to see their main roster at work.
It's fine. They lost a lads champion, but they gained 400 MMR.
This is true. Uh,
I'm not even in the game. What the fuck?
well, I just said it's true. What do you mean?
They banned my clockwork.
Maybe they don't know you're not in the game. You know, it's sometimes people are like, you know what, guys, I just don't want to play against it. I'm sure Mellow or Des can play the clockwork, right? Right?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Other than the clockwork, of course, Furion, Sand King, Shadow Demon, Omni Knight, Tree Prot, Lena, Kunkka, Mars all banned. Notably, look how many heroes who were in last game are banned now. Lena, Kunkka, Clockwork, Omni, all in the game. All picked by your team. And now they're all banned.
Yeah.
We also have 8-pick Windrunner, 9-pick Marana. Again, ladies with bows. I don't think they have. I don't think they have the same voice actors. I think Windrunner is voiced by Jen Taylor, and Marana's definitely not Jen Taylor. I'm looking it up though.
I don't know the voice actor names. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, Windrunner is indeed voiced by Jen Taylor, who is one of my favorite voice actresses in Dota. And then Marana is voiced by Jin Hammond, who is. I should have probably just said that outright. She voices a ton of characters. She voices 7 different heroes, so probably would have been a decent guess to throw her name out there, but what can you do?
What can you do indeed?
We do have Centaur selected 13, response Omni Knight 14. This Omni Knight pick feels very deliberate as the empty Centaur option. That's got to be the angle on that one, right?
Yeah, but I mean it's only really in lane. If anything, Centaur kind of counters Undying in the game because like you drop Tombstone if you don't want to fight near it, you just ulti away.
This is true.
Centaur also the counter to Wind Ranger. Is it Rubik 4
All right,
this
so
game then?
this is a counter to Centaur countering Undying. You try to stampede away from your Tombstone. Rubik stampedes forward.
Yeah, but you can't stampede the Tombstone.
Hmm.
And I feel like it's a rough Undying pick here because like you have Stampede for the game, and you also have if you are being aggressive on Centaur's team and you want to push the fight anyways, you have Marana to just kind of murder it in 5 seconds.
All right,
Not even
so
like 2 seconds.
Windrunner has Gale Force. Rubik has Lift. You pick Magnus, so you get RP Skewer. You have so many ways of bringing them back to Tombstone. That's gotta be the game plan, right? Just bring them back to Tombstone. I joke, of course, but
I mean, Centaur War can run through Gale Force, though, right?
Yeah, but eventually it ends.
Yeah, but I feel like it outlasts Gale Force, does it not?
Okay, that means you can either wait out the Stampede to use the Gale Force. Alternatively, you can force out Stampede with Gale Force, and then you can Tombstone afterwards. Again, I think there's interactions here. It's like a pinball machine in my brain right now with these interactions. It's bouncing back and forth. It's all about the Tombstone. That's our ball right now, the Tombstone.
I don't know. I still don't like it because if it's a Marana 4, Undying's not going to have a fun time.
Yeah,
Or it might be a Phoenix. Oh, it could be a Phoenix 5 or a Phoenix 4. I don't know.
I'm thinking
I think they're
Phoenix
leaving that
5. I'm
flex.
thinking Phoenix 5, Invoker 2, right? Surely.
Yeah, I think they might be leaving the Marana flex carry in 4. Although it could be an Invoker 1. We saw that in Lads, didn't we? Or what? No, it was TI where there was the Invoker pause 1, right?
This is not TI though. There are very few players in this league who I would trust to play Invoker Pause 1, to be honest.
I'm sure Koyo can play Invoker pause 1
Does Mokio
and
play
Morkale.
Invoker at all though?
I don't know. I'm
Either
just
you play
assuming he's a good
Invoker,
enough player to do it.
you either play Invoker or you don't play Invoker. There are some players who just don't play Invoker. Like there's some noted mid laners even who just never played Invoker. So
I mean, what do you need to know, like, for Invoker, though, on pause 1? Like, Forge Spirits, Cold Snap, maybe Ice Wall, Ghost Walk, Alacrity.
all right, good news, Artorias. I looked it up. So he has 37 games lifetime on Invoker with a 21% win rate.
Oof.
21 Artorias.
Did he play it when Invoker became universal, though?
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm doing the stats work. I'm a real stats expert, I guess.
I know Andy was a big Invoker player when it became universal.
All
Pause
right.
1.
When did they make him universal? How many patches ago was how many years ago was that?
I think only one.
All right, so he has some games, but not that many, and they've all been other than the one he had a win 4 days ago, and other than that, it's been basically all losses. So
Well, he played it 4 days ago. Maybe he's thinking about it. Maybe he saw the TI game. I don't know when the TI game was.
I think he
I've
tried.
lost track of time, to be honest.
I think he tried to go dual mid in that game.
Dual mid.
It's saying mid lane support.
Okay, interesting.
Saying mid lane support. So I don't think strong evidence for the invoker pick here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but
This is where you gotta hope that it's a Phoenix 4 and not a Phoenix 5, because then they'll get a sheep stick faster. Because other than that, I don't see how they kill this puck.
I was saying that last game though, going into this part of the band phase, and I was like, how do they kill the V-kill puck? Then they just picked the hero and they countered puck to an extent. Obviously, it didn't work in the long run, but I think the puck shaker interactions went very well for Shaker. Honestly, you could even just go it again. I mean, sure, it means you're putting that Mokio carry evoker into action, but
Maybe Cello can play at 4. Who knows?
yeah. But then, what do you put the
I
Mariah
think he
carry
has,
then,
hasn't he?
or
Yeah, I mean that's the flex, isn't it?
I guess, but
Doesn't it kind of just shit on the Wind Ranger? You get an MKB, you leap in, you hit her like 8 times, and she doesn't have focus fire because she's gotten whatever the fuck the other talent's called.
whirlwind. I think it's called whirlwind.
I know it's a good faceless game, but it's gotta feel bad to be banning faceless when you have a Rubik Undying save and a puck.
I mean, you have to do sometimes. That's the thing with Dota. You can't be too proud to do the ban you need to.
No. I mean, there's a Marana, Phoenix Invoker. You kind of have to ban faceless.
This
What can
is
you do?
this is kind of what my team that way back in the day used to just do. This is how we won our games and won our series. We would just pick Centaur Invoker and some stupid team fight carry every fucking game, Artorias. That was literally all we did. It was good. It worked out very well.
But did you throw finals?
We didn't have Centaur Invoker for that one. If we had Centaur Invoker, we would have won that one, Artorias.
Can Jim play Centaur?
What do you get Centaur? Anyone can play Centaur. A toaster can play Centaur, Artorias.
I mean, there's a difference between playing Centaur and being good at Centaur.
I'm not gonna insult Jim like that. I'm just not.
I mean, if he has like a good like 30, 40, 50 games, he's probably a pretty decent Centaur player, but like there's a difference in between an offlaner picking Centaur and like a Puz 5 going to the offlane and picking Centaur. Doesn't matter their MMR at the end of the day.
It's Centaur. He can play Centaur. He's cut the waves on Centaur. You just pull
I
waves,
don't know
cut
how I
waves,
feel
drag
about this
waves.
Underlord pick. I guess the Underlord is a way to keep them in Centaur ulti, but
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Could this potentially be Windrunner 3 Underlord carry?
I don't think so.
I think it'd be super sick if it was. Because I'm pretty sure Win can just do well in that lane with Rubik versus Phoenix +1. Maybe see if the carry is. This carry might just be able to completely dump on Underlord. And if that's the case, you just put the Underlord. Again, you just buy aura items from the safe lane. Then,
Question.
yeah,
I have a question.
yeah,
If you're this Wind Ranger and you see this Centaur,
yeah.
do you switch to Focus Fire on the risk that the Centaur may hit 25 and you're fucked if you go the other talent?
I don't think 25 talents can ever factor into your calculations in this game. I mean, most games
Well,
just don't go
last
that
time
long.
my team picked Wind, we lost and we had an enemy Centaur that we couldn't kill who hit 25,
I think
but it was 3 Wind.
you have to just rely on the game being over before that. I think Whirlwind's more popular anyways, though, so probably just going with Whirlwind.
Yeah. The he's going Corrosive Dragon?
Maybe
Carry?
he's still waiting to pick his talent. I don't know. Maybe he's debating. Maybe he's buying items first. I don't know. There we go. There it is.
Uh, I guess it is the answer to Puck, right? You just blink stun Puck and then murder him because you're a carried Dragon Knight that can kill him in the duration of your stun. But then you have to worry about what you call it, Lincoln Suit or BKB.
I mean, usually you just don't want to buy those items on Puck, though. Maybe you'll have to, but if you're buying BKB, you could still get stunned before you get the BKB off. If you're buying the Lincolns, again, are you doing a lot of scrolling right now?
Ah,
I heard like a scroll wheel or something. Or is that Wayne? I'm hearing
I don't
something.
know. It doesn't say anything's coming through my mind.
It's not good. It's not independent.
Oh,
When you're
maybe it
talking,
is.
I could definitely hear it, but
It might be. I think it's my fan in my computer. My
oh,
computer's been on all day.
that's not good for your computer.
Well, no, it's because I was playing so much Space Marines earlier. My computer was getting hot, so it was cranking the fan up a little bit.
Ah, I see. You got to guess who's gonna win game 2? Who's it gonna be, Artorias?
I mean, I kind of like the execution of Radiant's draft a little bit better. I think it's a little bit easier and it's a lot more solid. Whereas I think Dyer's team fights, it feels like they want to be together, but I don't know if they're going to be able to like keep it together because like Egg is going to push people apart. Centaur getting on top of people. Um, you kind of don't want to like stand there and fight people man to man when Ron uses ulti. But there's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, I mean, flooding
Oh,
is 5 with the smoke are the dire. NKF has broken his, so has Fade. It's a high ground spot though. It's again neither the Underlord nor the Undying wanted to take that jump, be the first one up, and if they're not going up first, it's not gonna be like a Rubik. So
well, it's kind of a weird play from the Dire to try and take that hill because they don't really have any level 1 stuns with lockdown. So if they go on somebody, the person can kind of just walk away, and then they have fear of being hoof stomped or potentially dragon tailed if he does go that level 1 for first blood.
I think they're just hoping to get there first, and beat him in time. But no, it is what it is.
Hmm.
All right, question of the day: when is the last time I cast your games, Arturus?
But don't remember.
It's been a while. It was fun though. It was fun. Got to cast one game from you. One game.
Yeah. Is my crisp not working? I don't know.
I don't think it is. I don't. It sounds like I'm getting some feedback from you. Some mouse sounds, some fan sounds.
Yeah, now it's working. I turned it off and back on again. That always works.
Yeah, it'll do that. It happens a lot with our good friend Andy Bendy, of course. Very, very common crisp problems with him.
It still says it's gonna be.
At a certain point, it is what it is. It's Invoker puck lane. I'm guessing it's fine for both sides. I'm sure it's the skill-based lane. Maybe Invoker has an easier lane in this lane. I'm sure both are fine. Bot lane, though. DK Mirana versus Rubik Underlord. Feels like a good lane for Underlord. Am I analyzing that right, or what?
Yeah, I'd say so. He doesn't really care. Mirana clicks. Rubik can outtrade Mirana because Fade Bolt. And then I don't really think DK clicks do much to Underlord either. Although he's almost out of tangles already. So maybe there was some good trading earlier that I did not see.
Do you like the way that Des is playing this lane? She's generally just avoiding
mid lane though.
Rubik interactions. There's no, what is it? Again, it's avoiding these Rubik interactions, just hitting the Underlord nonstop. Obviously, not much damage is being done, but yeah, trading at Rubik not a good idea.
Yeah, and eventually, well, just because eventually your DK is gonna have a high enough level in his passive that he just doesn't care about Rubik clicks. So.
Actually, again, with the rework, he already has the HP regen in the armor, so. Because again, the passive is just not the passive anymore. They changed it.
Right.
I guess he's not going to ever get more of it, but he just has it now.
Yeah, shows you how much I pay attention to patches.
It's also Dragon Knight. Okay, when a patch comes out, you're like, wow! It's like you kid in a candy store. You get to go anywhere you want. It's the first thing I gotta go to Dragon Knight. What human being? What human being is like, yeah, patch comes out. Let's check out the Dragon Knight changes. No, that's like the last thing you check is Dragon Knight changes. Like, so unless you play this hero or play against this hero, you probably don't pay much attention to this. I didn't know he had 3 facets. He has 3 facets. I didn't know that until very recently.
I mean, I knew he had 3, but I didn't know his passive had changed.
Well, the thing is, nobody ever goes the Frost one, so I didn't know there was a Frost one. It's always either Flame one or sometimes Poison one.
I knew there was a Frost one because when I played DK, I took it because I was against, forget if I was against a Morph or an Alchemist. I thought it would be good, and it was just kind of dog shit. But I was also playing DK mid at the time. I'm not a mid player, so.
That sounds like an excuse. Mid lane's easy, come on now. Bottom lane, big brawling going on. Who dies first, though? Both cores are low, and the answer will be NKF. Both cores are dead. Nef's gets solo XP on the Mokio kill, though. So supports win the bottom fight. Both cores not happy.
I think the Dragon Knight's happy. Because he got the XP, and he missed 1 creep.
Top lane as well, the Phoenix gets decayed down. Hypothetically, on DK, I'd rather just not die there because you just can regen it up. But yeah, I guess of the 2 cores, he's probably happier. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying he's happy about dying, but I'm not saying he's upset about dying either. I think he's kind of just whatever.
We're at the point now where he's got 2 points in the queue, 1 point in the stun. Also has that passive. He's brawling. He's powerful. It's a rough time for Underlord Rubik. Perhaps they've reached this critical mass point where they're just they're stronger than Underlord Rubik, and they're certainly playing as if they know they're stronger.
Yeah. One thing to look at though is mid lane seems to be in the favor of Puck right now. It's kind of a little bit even, but he did have the advantage there for a little bit. Oh. I'm talking about a different lane.
Yeah, I was watching mid as well. I did not catch my first kill. If you watch the VOD back game 1, I did not catch a single kill until like minute 6. It was bad. I missed your first 3. I missed your first 3 kills. Yeah.
They were so good. I walked up and pressed Q and W and then just killed
And
somebody.
that's what I figured. I even said it was possible in the draft. Speaking of action, top lane, Tombstone's on the floor. Bloom is low. Wife is low. They're just dying. Power shot hits. DK again gets the last hit. Bloom will barely walk away, though. Needs to be careful of Cello Mellow, but with no spells. Phoenix
he
doesn't
wants
do
to
all
die.
that much. Well, wants to die or not, we're going to see it right here, right now. A power shot results in a death for Cello Mellow. 2 kills for Fade's babysitting services. But now, look at Bloom. He's got no HP, no mana.
Yeah, like I don't think Centaur cares about that death at the end of the day. Tombstone's on cooldown, doesn't really miss very many creeps. It's unfortunate that he dies. Did he give it to Windranger? No, he gave it to Undying, but Windranger still gets gold and XP, so he's probably not happy about that. But
You got the Phoenix kill at the very least, but yeah.
yeah, as the Phoenix, you're not happy about that, but
It is what it is.
what can you do?
Yeah, that's just noted for us sometimes. You walk up, you say, "What can you do?" and it is what it is off cooldown.
Yeah. Well, Puck out of mana.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Arrow flies and misses off the mark by Des. No kill.
That is a rough rotation because now you don't get either Wisdom Rune.
Hypothetically, this like sort of topside one with Rubik here is still possible. It's unlikely. Maybe a short range arrow. No, not timed correctly. That'll go to Rubik. Both runes to the dire side of FBS. And now again, Nestor's not even dead yet. Des wants this kill desperately, but doesn't even find it. It's a kill for Underlord. So both wisdom runes and a kill. The tip comes out. Unhappy day for the Radiant Seps.
That's really unfortunate because your supports are Mirana and Phoenix, who kind of both really want XP, like brutally.
Yeah, again, these are Phoenix loves the early 6. Mirana less so the 6, but more just wants to get 5 and 6 and 7, just keeps scaling and yeah.
Yeah, like the amount of damage your spells do as they level up is very important, and then the charge restore time on Leap is super important too, and it's just rough. Although the Stampede is up now.
Mid lane, Coil against Invoker. He tornadoes cold snaps in response. Coil is not snapped in time by Rubik. Dive in by Cello. Arrow misses. Brayberry will jaunt to his T1 tower. Cello is low. There's your Stampede. Phoenix ends up dying to Fade Bolt anyways. They'll now move over to the Mirana. Mirana's forced to leap under a tower. Brayberry's still hunting, mind you. Has that long range orb ready to go, but at this point, seems like Des is fine, and Vico may just be fine as well. But again, you get the kill. That's pretty good.
You know, as rough as this game has seemed so far, it's a very even net worth.
This is true. Mostly. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's a little bit in favor of the Dire, but again, very, very close. Bottom lane, it's Dragon time for Dragon Knights. Vico rotates for Cold Snap EMP. Cello's here as well. NKF has no mana, but he's playing Underlord with 2 bracers.
Yeah. Razor's OP.
They're
He's
pretty
going
good.
for this this Atos build, I guess, feeling like his team is lacking a bit of lockdown with the Underlord Rubik support to it.
This is true. Mid lane, good combo from Bray. Brings down Death with ease. In comes the Fiend's Gate. Vico will attempt to get away. He's inside that pit of malice, but the detection is somewhat lacking. It's now finally here, but too little, too late. So, yeah, missed opportunity with that second kill, but it's still 1 kill for Fade. No kills for LFLs.
They are bringing a lot to these engagements, though. So the heroes that don't have to show up are getting farmed. I think that's the only saving grace right now, is what's keeping their net worth together.
It's been a relatively quiet game from Bloom. I mean, he's been involved in a couple of these top fights, but I think he wants to go for more. He's throwing shackles on creeps. He wants to be involved in larger fights soon. Wants some more kills. Wants to accelerate his game, and maybe that'll be our man to watch this game. The Windrunner. Yeah, we are at the quiet stage of the game now, where stuff just isn't happening. You know, when you get out of the laning phase, you never know what you're gonna get until it happens. Sometimes big, wild, crazy stuff happens, but not this game. It's very, very quiet. I mean, there are siege units, but they're mostly not being protected. The top one's already dead. The mid ones are already dead. Is there one bottom still? There's not. So they're all dead. No towers were taken with that first set of siege units, so... Yeah,
Well,
we're just showing.
Nobody on the Radiant really wants to fight right now, so...
They're fighting bottom anyways. Nefster actually is dead. So Mirana DK chose the 2v2, won the 2v2, but now the 2v2 turned into a 3v3. Puck coils 2, Mirana's dropping. Mirana is kept alive by Vico. There's your Stampede. It's currently a 1-for-1. NKF goes down. Tombstone's on the floor. Bray's half HP. Mokio's low. Mokio armlet toggles to stay alive, and now Vico's in with an instant dust from Big Daddy Fade. He wants the Invoker kill. He wants more kills in general. Double kill for Undying. Meanwhile, on the east side, Puck and Windrunner bring down the Phoenix. That's a 3-for-1. Wife is here, but he's got no friends. 3 of his teammates are dead, and the 4th one has no HP. So they'll dive him on the Centaur. He's got the Blade Mail, but it will not change the outcome. That's a 4-for-1, and this bot T1 tower should fall. It's being pinged, but it should still fall.
Yeah, they just don't have 6 on their supports yet. Their Centaur maxed Retaliate. And they only have 1 point in Dragon Tail, so to me I think they just want to keep farming. Whereas on the flip side, you have like maxed out Firestorm, obviously because of farming, but it does a lot of damage. You have maxed out Puck spells. Wind even has a point in Shackle Shot. Sure, you don't have Soul Rip and Undying, but all of the spells are just meant to fight. And then you have maxed out Fade Bolt on Rubik, so you kind of want to fight right now. Pressure. They just hit the power spike with the Maelstrom.
NKF was caught alone at the edge of the Dire jungle. In comes Puck with a 3-man coil. It's currently a 1-for-1 thanks to that coil play. And now it'll be DK dying as well. I think he attempted an armor toggle, but it did not go all that well. Now Vico is dusted. He's trying to run away. He'll juke to the east side towards Shallow Mellow, but there's no living, simply death for the mid lane Invoker to join his 2 teammates in the grave. That's a 3-for-1 in favor of Fade's babysitting service. And we're possibly not done yet. Nah, we're done.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to turn it around when they get a couple power spikes here. Centaur is close to a Blink, and Invoker's close to his Witchblade. About 700 gold. But on the flip side, you have Witchblade done on Puck. You have Atos done on Underlord. So it is going to be a rough fight to turn around.
You know, you could just lose. You could just be, you know what, we got our 1-game win. We can go and lose game 2. It's always an option. Lose the game, Burke.
Yeah. You know, it feels really rough, but like still, it's only a 3K net worth lead. Like it's 14-5, and they have the tower advantage.
I think at this stage of the game, though, a lot of the draft plays itself. And you're seeing it now. We're already grouping top lane. We have the option to overload this top lane, pressure this tower, move to the Radiant Tri-Camp even. You have a lot of options to do stuff. And we see Puck currently playing points. He's kind of playing that Radiant Tri-Camp, knowing, hey, I'm playing Puck. And they can't really stop me right now.
Yeah, I think their draft is just a lot more early game orientated. I think the big deciding factor of how this mid game is going to go, though, is oh, we'll fight it. Is anything gonna
Nah,
happen?
it's, I'll interrupt you trying to interrupt you. You know that by now.
Yeah. Um, I was just trying to be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. I think the big fight is going to be this mid lane tower, the Radiant one to be specific. I don't think I don't think the Radiant's going to be pushing the Dire one anytime soon. Though they are smoking, and they have the blink on Centaur, but it's only level 2 hoof stomp.
Well, crazier things I mean, it's not that much stun duration. Crazier things have happened. Top
Yeah,
tier
but
1, of
it's the
course,
first
is
one.
under attack. Siege unit hits right now. Blink in, hoof stomp on 2. Arrow as well finds the Undying, but a tombstone's already on the floor. Puck is low. Stampede has been used. Dire collapsing. The Twin Gate, the Fiend's Gate, whatever it's called, gets both the Underlord and the Undying, not Undying, the Windrunner away. That Fiend's Gate just saved that fight, actually, unironically.
Yeah, that was looking like the big fight Radiant needed, and then he just Fiends Gates out. He's like, nah, I don't want to be here.
It's important they did, because if they didn't, they would have crumbled. They were already crumbling. The HP pools were not looking too hot. Now there's a shackle against Dragon Knight, but he's whoa, the blade mail, the whirlwind. Talk about a whirlwind of damage. It's already a 1-for-1 again, top lane, but it's DK who's low. The arrow hits Underlord, perfectly played from Des and the timing on that one. So it's a lot of low cores in the top lane. Puck's still fighting. Underlord no longer is. Mokio's low, it still survives. Fruit Punch and Nester, they both will join the Crucible of Death's top lane. It's a 3-for-2 so far in favor of Mellow fellows. Blade Mail, Centaur. A very good answer to Windrunner.
That's what you want out of your offlane. It would just be a fucking Chad. I will die to kill their carry.
More than worth it. More than worth it.
I mean, the amount of gold you got from that too. Like, it was the most gold out of any kill out of those fights.
Looking at the death, he already was somewhat low HP to start that salvo as well, and again the blade mail plus the double edge, retaliate, like it wasn't even a double edge, just blade mail retaliate. Good blink away by Bray there, but
I think as the Centaur gets a few more levels, they can start to be a bit more aggressive. The double edge and the hoof stomp adding to that burst potential. It is a bit rough. There is the mechanism now on the Undying and the Soul Rip. So if they're not jumping Undying, then obviously you can get some heals off. But no pipe yet, and no pipe for a while on Underlord either.
speaking of mech, Mirana has one as well, but again, Des it has some cold blood or something. She just didn't use it at any point in that last little skirmish.
Didn't need it.
Apparently not.
Concerning dominance.
We'll go with that.
Good dive away. Still
Not for long, no, not for long. They're hunting already. Puck may be forced to disengage, but Rubik will finish the job anyways. Fiend's Gate brings NKF towards the melee. And Radiant will leave the rest of their ability. DK is in the pit, now in the Gleipnir, now outside of the pits. And now DK will fight outside of the pit, as Under was inside his own pits. Rift on 2 from Bray. Stampede from Wife, looking to go in on Puck. He'll blink double edge the Underlord instead. The trade is for Dragon Knight regardless. Currently a 2-for-1. Sunstrike from long range hits Bloom. Make that a 2-for-2 and one more hit. But no! He stays alive! It's now 4 on the Radiant side. Power Top brings down Vico at the full 5-man wipe. Bloom barely escapes. That's a disastrous fight for Mellow fellows.
I think, unironically, by Vico saving himself, he saved the Wind Ranger. Because he disarmed them so that he couldn't sit there and the three of them murdering them. But then the Centaur blinked and used Blade Mail and Wind just wasn't hitting anybody. What can you do?
What can you do?
Well, these are some exciting fights. They're very close. A lot closer than I thought they would have been, given how the mid game went.
I agree. A lot of heroes coming top lane.
I can't catch anybody though. I don't have any blink daggers on anybody but the centaur.
Mhm.
They do secure their tormentor and potentially save their DK though.
Well, Radiant Tormentor is dead. Shard goes to Morana. Nice little shard to get. You see Des toggling it off and on and off and on. I'm like, yeah, guys, I got the shard. Let's go. It's not really your voice, but hey, guys, I got the shard. Like, I still can't do it, but you know what I mean.
Your voice sucks too much.
It's first off rude. Second off, you know exactly what I mean by that, but you've listened to her talk enough times.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is wild behavior. A support is going Glimmer Cape. I am befounded. I have watched lad supports countless times beyond something like a Shadow Demon, and they won't go Force Staff or Blink Dagger. They'll just rush like Aether Lens Ags, and just like them or their team just constantly dies.
Yeah, I see a lot of Glimmer Capes. Usually it's the opposite, where you see a lot of Glimmer Capes and no one buys Dust. Where the Glimmers get purchased, and then it's like, oh, where is the Dust? Because usually, with the way a lot of these fights break out, you need like a core or two to carry Dust to counter Glimmers. And a lot of cores in this league just don't want to buy Dust. Even if they do want to buy Dust, they don't want to have slots for Dust. I will give you Force Staff, though. Yeah, I think there's a criminal under purchasing of Force Staffs in this league.
I feel like there's too many supports that want to be cores.
That's usually how a lot of the top players in this league are, is they're failed core players.
But a lot of them are like 5k, 6k, like you're dog shit at the game. Just buy some fucking support items. I don't know. I'm dog shit at the game. I'll buy support items.
I accept that paradigm as well. I'm buying. If you look at the items I'm buying a lot of stuff items too. But
Like, look, I know I'm shit. I'm not rushing an Ags on Clockwork. I'm buying fucking like Earn Blade Mail Lotus Orb. I'm just gonna run in and fucking die.
stuff items are good.
This is interesting. The Undying is buying the Crimson Guard, not the Underlord.
Might as well. Underlord's got other things to buy, like a pipe and a Gleipnir.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting. There's Dream Coil on cooldown now.
This is true.
So, if Radiant want, they could try and pressure something. But there is a BKB on Wind, and I don't know if they know about that.
And there's always mid T1. There's always mid T1. But it will be a mid T1 for Roche trade. It's not worth it for the mid T1.
I think it depends on how Radiant wants to play. I mean, like, yeah, it's not going to be worth it. But if they just want to split up and farm anyways, then I think it's fine. Not trying to force a fight into Tombstone Undying Roche.
Yeah, it's just not easy. A lot of times in Dota, when you have the easy play, yeah, just take it. The easy play just works. Again, they're scouting, they know what's going on, but too little, too late. Free Roshan, that's Aegis of the Immortal to Windrunner.
One thing to point out for Puck is they don't have to be worried about a Phoenix Scythe anytime soon. They went for the Yule Scepter first because they were having a bit of a rough game.
And then he's buying lane. Shard Glimmer. Oh, we love Glimmer.
I mean, he's buying support items.
Exactly.
Even though he's a good player because he's almost 7k.
Oh, come on. The league average is like 7k now. That's the bar is changed.
But I feel like if you're 7k, you can buy like support items and also core items because you're good enough to buy core items. But these people who are like 5k rushing Ags on Shadow Demon.
That's fair. There is still a line. You know, there's a big difference in like high 6k, low 7k, and yeah, like floor 5600, 5400 sort of player.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely games where like rushing these aggressive items work, but like if you're having a ship game or even just like a mediocre game, probably just buy some support items. Like your 8 and 9k and 10k cores winning the game.
Maybe that'll be the next lads move. Maybe we'll raise the floor. We've also been raising the average and raising the ceiling, but the floor is kind of where it is.
It probably should be at least 6K next year.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like an increment, maybe like 5,800 something like that. Because if the floor has been 56 for how long now?
It's been too stagnant, I think, right? Because we're up at like what, 7K average?
Yeah, we're at 7K average now.
Okay. Well, if it goes up to like 72 or 74, I could see a 6K average. But yeah, 58 for sure.
I'll probably bring up the next lab meeting, like, hey guys, 5,800 floor, let's go. And honestly, most teams tend to have like these like the quote unquote floor steps. A lot of them are like 5,800 to like 6,000 anyways nowadays. So
Yeah, like my team's floor, and I'm 64. So I think anybody under 65 is essentially your floor players.
that's funny. It's true, but it's funny.
I mean, that's the way they're pretty much treated, right? Like you're picking that player to put on your team not because you think, oh, this player is extremely good. Like maybe their value for that MMR, but like you're picking them because of that MMR.
Yeah,
If you could pick a 7K player, you pick the 7K player.
It's what can fit, you know.
Yeah.
So again, it's hard to like fit in some god game or sub player if you have like some 9K core player. You know, it's only so much MMR to go around.
Yeah. Like if you have Cub right side, you can't have like fucking double king carry. That won't work.
Or he could look like Logical, who actually has one of those high MMR God Gamer subs to join him, but then his other three players are all not that far from the floor.
Camel Farmer is a 7K Smurf. 8K
Okay, then
Smurf.
he's
10K Smurf.
okay. If he's 7K, then that's a league average player. I know his MMR is lower than that, but
No,
then,
he's
there's,
a 10K
then
Smurf.
there's the 2-4. He's not a 10K. Just he beat Rojo mid means a 10K Smurf.
See, I lived in the day when 7K was like top 200. It was nuts.
I remember when 7K made you one of the best players in this league.
Yeah. AKA I was the best. Well, I wasn't necessarily the best, but I was the highest MMR, and I was like 6,800 when I joined.
You say that, but I've heard you off the record. You think you were one of the best players in the league at the time. You thought your impact was so high. I know it was true, but
I had to dude. Look who I had on my team.
Coy. Do not play coy about that. You know. You know, you were like, yeah, I stepped in, replaced the other floor player. Instantly, the off laner gets perceived as a good player. Instantly, their course remain in the game. Who possibly could do that one? Don't give me that bullshit. You know you think you're good.
Dude, I had to carry Dawson's skater to a.
Listen, you're allowed to say you're good. Just don't give me that two. It's my job to be a two-faced bullshitter, not you.
Back then, when I was actually good. Well, there's actually a fight, so I'll shut up about me being shit.
The coil bottom lane. Beansgate will bring the rain to the Dire to the bottom lane right now. Puck is trying to tank it on up. He's already dead, but now it could be vengeance time. Correction, there's absolutely no vengeance. You go through the twin gate, you go back through the twin gate, you lose one cord, you almost lose another. That's a rough fight there for the team with the Aegis.
That was a very interesting interaction. I did not know you could still go through the Fiend's Gate while rooted.
You can do it under a lot of weird things. As long as you're still interacting, it's like a channel of some kind. So.
I think that was the Orchid reveal, right? On this Dragon Knight?
I believe so.
Orchid reveal into Arrow's stun.
Either way, it's a reveal to us, so it must be.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention because nothing was happening. I don't know. They had Aegis and they were just fucking towers, and the team wasn't fighting them. Just the usual shit.
Yeah.
Although now they have the net worth advantage, went down 11 kills to 22.
Well, they got both shards. That's a swing right there.
I feel like this happens a lot with this Fade's babysitting service team. Is they have like a strong early game and mid game. Well, it's not that they throw it; they just kind of lose.
Well, it's fantastic. Invoker is being brought down immediately. Tombstone on the floor. Supernova the counterplay. Who dies first? Nobody's dead yet. Vico will be our first death. Supernova stuns 4. Womb is your trade. Mokyo to fall. It's currently at 2-for-1. Centaur's half HP. Trying to man up, but it's Centaur and 2 subs. Cello accepts the fight loss. TP's away. Wife brings down NKF anyways. How would he blink away from those heroes? Regardless, that is a 2-for-2 trade. It's 2 cores for 2 cores. All the subs live. Interesting trade.
There's an interesting smoke play because like DK was up front, and he didn't have BKB off cooldown yet, and he kind of just it ended up being the invoker with BKB being the one who got blown up, but like the DK was just stuck in pit and couldn't move for the entire fight. At least he was ulted, so he could still click people, but it feels a little bit rough. Like that's where the majority of your team's net worth is. It's your only way to kill Puck, really. And you just kind of ran in with no vision on a smoke with no BKB.
Everyone pressing
feel like-
BKBs to do stuff.
Yeah.
Uses
I
diamond
feel like they're
magical
keeping
damage during
themselves to
BKB now.
I feel like they were just feeling themselves after that fight. Took the fight, get 2 towers, get Torm. You're like, yeah, let's fuck him up. Let's go kill him. And you just, my button's up yet.
That is Dota 2 for you. Sometimes. It is Roshan time. Both teams have checked the pits. By the way, it has not been 8 minutes yet, though, so... We do have to wait on Roche to actually even get to the spawn window for it to spawn. Do my best lyrical Trent impression. All right, guys, let's guess if Roche is gonna spawn. It's already spawned. It's already minute 45 reveal.
See, why does this happen, Measure?
Hmm?
We have an Undying +5, right? He has gone Guardian Greaves, Crimson Guard.
Yeah.
Very good, right?
Yeah.
Now he is going Ags.
I think
What?
he's earned the right to do that. I mean, considering how long he's lived in these team fights, and you have 2 items to sustain yourself in the team fights, I think just having that many decays is with 8 strength steal is got to be valuable at some point.
But I'm looking at my Puck right now, right? And I'm seeing he has an Octarine, an Ags, a Blink, a Witchblade, and is going Mjolnir, and I think, what happens if this man gets silenced? He fucking dies. So I go, I buy Glimmer Cape, I maybe buy Aetherland Shard, I buy Blink Shard, and if he gets gone on, I just save him.
See, what you've done, what you've exemplified here is loser mentality. Now here's the Chad mentality. You know what I'm gonna do? If he gets stunned, if he dies, he dies. He should have played better. I will decay the heroes. I'll steal 24 strength with my 3-man decays. I will be the carry now. My hero's a large hero model with decay.
He should have pressed E, idiot.
Exactly. Just press the E. I mean, it's just simple. It's not his job to save his team. It's kind of his job to save his teammates.
If it wasn't his job to save his teammates, why the fuck does he have a Guardian Greaves Crimson Guard?
Yes, that's for the high ground push. He needs to buff his creeps.
Oh god, he actually went decay and zombie damage. Surely you go Tombstone Soul Rip, right? I mean, maybe decay damage, but like Soul Rip damage and heal. Surely.
No, he's gonna go for the 20 talent decay cooldown too, I think, and he's just not gonna die. I mean, I know his hero's called on dying. Usually it's an oxymoron, but not this game. Radiant Smoke, they wrap around the north side right now. It's a fantastic wraparound. They're finally undying, but can they kill him? He's got the Greaves. He has a Crimson Guard. Stampede from White. They're still trying to kill the Undying. Supernova's been committed. Stampede's been stolen by Rubik. Undying's still alive. He's finally dead, but it's trade time. Centaur's crumbling, Invoker's crumbling. They could not kill the man whose name is Undying. Puck dies on the east side, Centaur's low on the west side. Pit on the floor from Endgap. They still cannot bring down Wife. Wife's still very low, though. Atos Munderlord, the Firestorm does not bring down Wife. It's currently that 1-for-1 trade. The DK stuns NKF. Underlord will finally fall. Undying is returned to the fight once again. Double kill for Vico. Yules against Big Daddy Fade. And his items are all on cooldown, therefore his life is on cooldown. That's I believe a 3-for-1 trade, actually. Is that correct? 3-for-1? Correction, 4-for-1.
4.
So Undying died twice in that fight thanks to the...
Thanks to not having a Glimmer Cape.
Thanks to Ceaseless Dirge. I don't think Glimmer Cape saves him there.
No, but I think it makes him live a lot longer the first life.
I mean, okay, if I'm Undying there, I'm asking why is my team not doing more damage? They literally used everything on an Undying, and he still didn't die for like 26 seconds. Surely his team could do damage during that time, right? Surely.
Surely Radiant stops getting bashed by Roche. Oh,
Solo kill
okay.
mid lane, by the way. Bloom whirlwinding, Gleipniring, and destroying Des, who... Yeah, I guess it's like a well-timed something to maybe it was like Shackle, or maybe they were around. Maybe it was Gleipnir, then purged by Guardian Greaves into Shackle within the play, probably. Top lane, we're fighting once again. By the way, Puck is on the other side, looking for a steal. Has a coil on 2 anyway. It's Underlord. It's inside the Roshan pit, but he's taking so much damage. And there is no go back through the Fiend's Gate tech this time around. Now Puck has to be careful. Biko spots out the orb. Meanwhile, Bloom's running as well. Back over to Puck. Mokio lacked mana for Bloodthorn. I think if he had mana for Bloodthorn, he'd be a dead Puck right now, but not the case.
All I can say is invisibility equals invincibility, Patrick.
Listen, wait. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah. No, I'll kill it.
Somebody please grab these. Somebody, for the love of God, grab these bounty runes. How are they actually 4 bounty?
Oh.
They're not even seeing it! They're not seeing the bounty runes! They're going in top lane against Bloom and Rubik. Rubik certainly will die of Bloom. It's dying to Blade Mail, though. He's dying to Blade Mail. He's just dead. And the bounty runes are still there. Meanwhile, another solo kill by a Cororant's Fruit Punch. Death's dead again. But more importantly, there's just 4 bounty runes still.
I feel like she's just attracting, like, core aggro. Like, you know how you can attract creep aggro?
Yeah.
I feel like she's just attracting core aggro to the mid lane while, like, all these objectives are happening. And then, like, the rest of the enemy team's just dying because of it.
This is true.
She's just clicking on creeps and pulling their aggro. It's the reverse of clicking on enemy heroes and pulling the creep aggro.
It's true. It's funny. It's true.
It's like how if you attack a carry, you'll pull the support's aggro.
It's a triangle then.
No.
Where?
Well, if you attack a support, nothing happens.
Yeah, you get creep aggro then.
No, they're just a resource. A consumed resource.
Consumed resource. It is a renewable resource, to be fair, you know?
Exactly. It does not matter if you die on a support if your team wins.
Yeah, but
so they
sometimes...
consume you in order to win.
Sometimes to win the game, you don't want to die on your sub hero, you know?
That's a bad mentality.
Bounty runes! Wife is so happy right now. He's got to be the happiest centaur alive.
Yeah, I mean, he has all the auras in the world. Like, the only aura... Oh, no, he does have Shiva's Guard. He was just swapping it in. I was like, interesting. He still has a slot, and he's going for Strength Blink, and then I didn't realize it was in his backpack. He was blind.
Alright, so if you steal Rubik, it's whatever facet he chooses becomes your Elder Dragon form. So he has the Fire Dragon Elder Dragon form.
Oh, man. He'd be cleaving.
If you can, like, somehow get the green form or the blue form, that'd be pretty cool, but that's not how Dota works. Apparently.
I feel like this could be a really good... Like, see, this Rubik is playing good for a support, right? He recognizes he needs to keep his cores alive, so he goes Lotus, Glimmer, and Blink. He's probably going to go Shard soon, too, I presume.
I think he's hoping for a free Shard, but, well, what can you do sometimes?
Yeah. Like, the cores on... the supports on Radiant, like, you have Yule Scepter and Aeon Disc to keep yourself alive on Phoenix, so you can tank spells and get your egg off. Glimmer Cape, a Force Staff on Mirana, even though they have the Shard and the Solar Flare to deal a shitload of damage themselves.
Well, here we go. Back to the high ground goes Mokio and friends. The friends sitting in the rear guard, Mokio in the vanguard. Hit him out on the floor from Underlord. He's now lifted back into the center of the pits. Bray comes in, looks to jaunt away. They're still keeping DK in the pit, but they just can't kill him. He's playing Dragon Knight, therefore he's, well, a Dragon Knight. Blink Coil's fantastic on 3 from Bray. Only problem is everybody's still absolutely fine. DK, they're still trying to kill him, but he still has 2-1 left to play with. Supernova certainly will not go down this time around. Stampede was used to reposition. Returning to the living is Dragon Knight, but this time no dragon form. Gleipnir on DK once again puts him inside the pits. Biko runs in, runs away. Brave Break goes aggro onto the Invoker. Now dodges at the hoof stop with phase shift. For the time being, again, nobody dead but the Aegis. Radiant, though, are running out of resources. Shackle does not latch. Mokio blinks and looks for Puck. Puck once again, dot at the stun. He'll go away to the west side of the fight. DK on 2 from Undying. And Dire again are kiting things out. One more Atos used on Centaur. He'll stop the Undying. In return, leap in by Fruit Punch. And again, a 4-man silence from the fucking Stolen Supernova. Double kill for Bloom. One more kill coming in on Vico. Centaurs crumbling, stunned inside the pit. Mellow fellows at long last may have lost the key team fight. They're trying to get away. There's even a tip coming out against Bloom. He's all chatting in return. I believe our fight is over.
Yeah, it was just rough for Radiant. They didn't have Elder Dragon form on the second Life of Aegis. But remember how I said that, well, should you go the focus fire because you're against a Centaur who could hit 25, and you're like, I don't think you take into account the 25s. Yeah, well, he's 23.
Listen, that's their fault for not having the game be over earlier. Speaking of Centaur, he's here inside the pit again, just getting perpetually kited, perpetually stuck. He cannot move.
Is he gonna
freely. He
kill
almost
him?
kills Brave Bray. But there will be no kill on Brave Bray. Instead, they'll slowly bring him down. The kill goes the way of Underlord. And meanwhile, it's a free shard for the Radiant side. A free shard for the... Who got the shard there? Was it... So Shallow Mellow. That's definitely a shard he's wanted for a while, but... We're now running out of free shards to get. It's only Dragon Knight and Invoker left to get the shards for the Radiants.
And it took them so long to kill Centaur that like all their waves are shoving in.
How long have Top Rat's
And
been
nobody
dead
was
for?
even really shoveling them. I don't know.
Oh, that was before the bounty runes. I was too busy staring.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
literally too busy looking at the bounty runes to see the racks die, I think. I'm sure I saw it on camera, but my mind was thinking 4 bounty runes. And that's all I could think about.
But there is a button to end the focus fire earlier.
This is true.
Just hasn't. Oh, I
Rapier?
didn't even notice that they bought that. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Rapier,
Rapier.
he's had this quick buy for a while, and sometimes you want to go for the go big or go home item. Only problem is he doesn't have the Aghanim shard yet.
I didn't even realize Rubik stole an egg too.
Yeah, that's the big reason why the fight was won the way it was. He had it, and he held it for a while too. He was patient with it.
I actually didn't even see it. I'm gonna be honest.
It was green.
Shows you how much I pay attention in these fights.
It was green.
I just make some shit up about how support should buy support items, and then I say, ah, yes, I'm an excellent analyst.
You're like the Yogi Berra of Dota analysts, except
Oh,
he's
wow.
not
Speaking of
funnier.
Divine Rapier, it's gone.
Oh no.
And then he finished his feed skate. Interesting.
So
Interesting.
the game's over.
Yeah, I think Okio tried to armlet toggle and he turned his rapier to the magic damage one in the middle of that fight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ay.
yeah.
That dude
what is the
just
buyback status?
died right away too. He literally instantly died. I didn't even get a chance to see Puck die. He died that quickly.
Yeah, he kind of just got Bloodthorn and then Dragon Tailed and then Sunstruck and kind of just died. And they don't have buyback.
I figured as much. Supernova from Cello Mellow. Nester still has his Supernova ready to go. At this point, you have no Puck, you have no Underlord. You shouldn't have much of a chance to win this fight. There is a green egg that will not get broken, unless Fruit Punch somehow breaks it, but no. There's no
I feel like
committal. They could have been, but
definitely
there was no commit there. Instead, we have DK. Where is DK? What is he hitting? He's on the racks? Okay, he's on the racks. We're good to go in that aspect. Rubik to fall. One more hero dead. That's 3 down. He'll buy back on Nefster. So Bray and NKF will be back in about 10 more seconds. But again, you've lost your rapier. You've lost your buildings. It's full megas for Mellow Fellows, and they are again at the precipice of that 2-0 sweep. Blink Hoof Stomp finds Bloom. Stampede to follow. They'll kill the Windrunner. She'll buy back instantly. Tornado hits Undying and Rubik. Meanwhile, NKF tried to once again Fiend Skate into the melee, but it's been cancelled by Yule Scepter. Coil's on the floor, but at this point, there is nothing to do but lose the video game. NKF got away, but you're running out of heroes to lose. That's a die back on Bloom. The tier 4s are under attack. Meanwhile, Brave Ray is he stuck in the trees? I'm not entirely sure right now, but he's in the trees, certainly. He'll blink silence, finding Cello Mellow. Next, meanwhile, getting right click down with the Dragon Knight. Hope's not misses from life, blink in by DK, going for Undying, Undying a stun with the Dragon Tail. Pit now supposed to counterplay, but it's certainly insufficient. Triple kill for Mokio, and the GG is called. It's a 2-0 win for Mellow Fellows. That's a lot easier when you were there.
I didn't say anything. I just mean.
It was a lot easier when you were there game one, though. They went a lot more quickly.
Oh, I thought you meant casting wise.
Oh. No, I was joking about that. Because game one was an absolute beatdown. This is a much more competitive affair, so. It's a good game. Last game was not really a good game. This is a good game. Artorias ruiner of Dota games.
Yeah, what can you do? Just depends which way. Man, I'm rewatching that Rubik Egg play, and like, if if Cello canceled his Sunray and started hitting it with the Centaur, and then Dez shows up, now 100% would have been dead. But just wife starts hitting it. Cello cancels his Sunray, leaves. Wife goes to leave. Dez shows up, tries to kill it. They all turn around, and then it pops.
Yeah, that happens sometimes to these heroes who just don't ever right click. You probably hear like Phoenix or Ember Spirit who just doesn't really right click too much. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. I'm allowed to do that.
I thought DK greeting and like not going like a relatively early blink might have backfired, but then he didn't really need it because then he got that what you call it, the orchid, and then it extremely paid off, and then he went back for the blink. It was a really cool build to see.
A lot of these carry DKs, they're here to cultivate agriculture, and especially when you're playing a carry at the Flame Dragon, and as you can tell from the player net worth graph, he was cultivating agricultural product.
Yeah, I mean that was with a free rapier too. I mean he was way ahead before he got that rapier. He was 7K ahead of second place in the net worth. So
We are going to wrap her on up though. You got any analysis before we ask you for your other stuff?
buy force staff, please.
Do you have any final words, calls, or shout to say to the people of League of Legends?
Buy force staff, please.
I knew you were gonna do. I love that you did that. I had a feeling you would, but thanks, Artorias, for playing in game one and casting with me for game two. Congratulations to Mellow Fellows on there too. Commiserations to Fades, Babysitting service. I believe falling out of like 4 and 10 or something. They're having a rough stretch of games recently.
I think they were having it rough, and then I think they swapped their mid and carry.
And then they swapped it back again. They're doing. Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're looking for like the 4 signs of a screw Dota team, role swapping is definitely one of the 4 horsemen there. So I digress though. As many as role swapping a number of teams, but thank you for tuning in, viewers. If you like my cast, I'm the Caster Games, Caster Tournaments. Contact me on twitter.com/BadgerDota2 or over on Discord, Badger Pablo. Thanks to Bite Me Twitch for the raid. And I'm gonna go raid someone else. Not quite sure who yet, but I'll find somebody, I'm sure. As always, though, thank you for watching, and have a great night.